I love all things craft and DIY, so today I'm taking you through how I revamped this kitchen toddler tower and turned it into this. So just revamped it into something a little bit more vibrant and more fun for my daughter. Hi, I'm Genevieve and I am the artist and designer behind Moonlight Miso. So I bought this toddler tower used and it's just plain white. It's adjustable, it's pretty basic, but it's very sturdy, which is what I wanted. As you can see, she already was using it and she loves it, but there are some nicks and paint chips and just it looked used, right? So I wanted to just do a fresh coat of paint first. So this is me giving it a quick wipe down with some Clorox just to get all the gunk off. And luckily I had some cabinet trim left that we used for the house previously. So I'm just doing a fresh coat of white paint just to brighten it up a little bit and start from scratch essentially. Then I moved over to painting. Once that was all dry, I moved over to lettering. So I originally wanted it to say like eat the rainbow, taste the joy, but it didn't really fit. It was just too much. So I just ended up doing eat the rainbow and I drew the bubble letters on here first. Took me a couple tries to make sure that everything is correct. Pro tip, don't use a pencil on paint because it ended up leaving a lot of marks, as you can see here. It doesn't erase well. Later in the video, you'll see that I actually started using chalk pencils, which was way better. So if you're doing something similar to this, use chalk. It comes off way easier and doesn't leave residue. So I had these acrylic paint pens left over from a previous project. So I thought maybe let's just try this. I mean, it would make my life easier, right? But this made me very limited in my color choices. I tried to pick some out here, but kind of see here that it doesn't look that great, if I'm quite honest. And this is where I start to second guess myself because the paint pens are just not doing its job. It's super thin. You can still see a lot of the pencil marks and it's not cute at all. Fast forward, so even the colors are it's not what I wanted. And I honestly went into this without a really, much of a plan, which is my mistake in the first place. This is me trying to fix the problem and nope, not working out. So starting from scratch again, I painted over it. Just a coat of white paint to make sure that most of it is covered enough. So then I went back to the drawing board and decided to take a picture of the lettering that I already did. And then I took some color inspiration from like Pinterest or whatever. I found a color palette that I liked. I went to Photoshop and decided to make a mock-up. So this looks a lot better than what I intended. Then I went ahead and transferred this over to Procreate so that I could just do some hand drawing. I wanted to outline it in white and then also create some accents to make the bubble letters pop a little bit more. Just make it a little cuter and details, right? That looks pretty good to me. And then I moved on to the sides of the toddler tower. So I took a picture of the toddler tower, uploaded it to Procreate, and then I started drawing. I decided I wanted to do fruits and veggies to remind my daughter that fruits and veggies are the best things for you. And the whole eat the rainbow thing, right? That theme. And I wanted to kind of offset the colors too to make it more playful and just like not super perfect. Again, chalk pencil, use your chalk pencils. Get some chalk pencils if you are painting or drawing on something that's already painted or just any surface really. Chalk pencils are your friend. So all these I freehanded essentially. I just used the drawings that I already created as reference, or I pulled some images from the internet and just use that as a reference. So nothing's traced, I just freehand drew them. So this is what we have so far on one side. I added a few different items and we are done. Moving on to the actual painting. Starting with the E, I had some basic acrylic paints already, and I just needed to mix the right colors and mix and mix and mix and keep adding and mixing and adding and mixing and adding. And so finally we got it pretty close, but later we'll find out that I forgot that acrylics actually dry a lot darker than you think. So this is what I had painted over with the white already. So I made sure to leave it so that I could see what I had already lettered underneath. So it's just easier for me to paint over. And this is actually the most fun and relaxing part for me. I used a pretty small brush at first, but it wasn't small enough, so I switched it to an even smaller brush. And then I made sure whatever letter I had painted first, I also painted the corresponding fruit or veggies, since I already had the same color mixed, because I didn't want to have to try to mix a new color and have it not 100% match. So here we go again. More mixing, more mixing, more mixing. I moved on to the warm colors, and then I think on this day I finished with the purple, which is one of the first cooler colors that I mixed. It's really fun. I love painting. So this is the first side, and I am pretty happy with how it came out so far. This is where we're at, but unfortunately I forgot to dot the I. So that means that I have to recreate that color, which is going to be a challenge, but that's for another day. And the other side, so it's coming along well. There's a few mistakes here and there, and that tomato could have used a second coat of paint. I am maybe about a third of the way there now. It's starting to come together, but I am very frustrated that I forgot to dot the I on rainbow, which means that I have to recreate that color, which can be a little bit of a challenge to try to color match, especially considering that acrylics dry darker. So we'll see how that goes. That's going to be a problem for after everything else. It's coming together, but it's not... I'm not feeling the most confident on it right now, but I'm really trying to just trust the process. Yeah. Let's keep going. Moving on to the cooler colors. I'm using the iPad to reference the mock-up that I created on Photoshop. This process took me probably a few weeks because when you have a baby, things just take longer. It's coming together. We're still trusting the process. Now I am repainting the eye entirely because I mixed a new color that was close enough. It ended up being a little bit darker, which actually worked in my favor, I think. But now I'm finally dotting the eye and repainting the entire thing just to make sure that the colors match correctly and they're not different. So I think I color matched that pretty well, and I'm pretty pleased with it. Some of these I probably should have done extra coats on, but whatever, it's fine. But yeah, so this is the current state. I am still not 100% loving the color scheme that came out of it, but I'm not mad at it. Still trying to trust the process. Not all the fruits have colors that necessarily make sense. Like this is a pear because that's just what made sense for the colors. Because I didn't want to put like too much green next to each other, but whatever. It's fine. It's good. Trusting the process. And now we're gonna move on to the outlines and the accents with the white around the lettering. For the outlines, I used the same brush, I think, actually. Needed a really steady hand for this. I did all the outlines first before moving on to the accents. And I had dabbled with potentially doing black outlines or silver or gold just because I had those paint colors, but I'm glad I stuck with white. Okay, so we have the outlines done now. It's looking a lot more put together. So now we're gonna move on to all the little accents to make them look more bubbly and make the letters pop more. This was the fun part. Actually, the whole thing was fun, but I like doing this part. It's fun creating little accents and seeing like it pop. The white definitely needed a couple coats though, and there was a couple areas where I was like layering it on a little bit too much, but.
All right, so this is the final bubble letters, and I'd say I'm actually pretty happy with this. It looks pretty similar to the mock-up, which I'm pretty happy about. So, yay! Now we can move on. With all the outlines, I'm definitely gonna use a paint pen instead of hand painting with a brush because it's gonna make my life so much easier. And the only reason why I didn't use a paint pen for the bubble letters is because the white acrylic paint pen is not as vibrant. Would it have made my life easier? Probably, but I like hand painting things anyway, so it was fine. Got it done, and it pops out the way I wanted to.
So I decided to lay the tower down on the side so it's easier for me to draw on it with the paint pen since both sides are dry now and I didn't have to go back and forth. I used the iPad again. I took a picture of the drawing that I initially did on both sides, and then I'm using that as a reference. Again, hand drawing. And I had to do a couple coats around some of the areas because the pen was a little bit thin, and I wanted it to like stand out a little bit more. So some areas are a little bit bolder than others.
Okay, here is the first side all finished. I am decently happy with this and how it turned out. I was really trying to challenge my perfectionism for this project. So like the lines are not perfect, and that's why all the lines are like off center, and I tried this kind of like organic style, I guess. And I think it turned out pretty cute, honestly. I'm excited to see the whole thing complete. We gotta do the other side now.
Now doing the other side. The other side went a lot faster because I already knew what I was kind of doing. I finished this side over here, and I think it turned out pretty good. I'm very happy with it, actually.
Second side, it's very similar to the first one, but the fruits and veggies are just mixed around a little bit more.
All right, so last step, putting some Mod Podge on it just to seal everything. I have some leftover Mod Podge spray that's a gloss, and that's fine with me. It's just quick sealant to make sure that everything is set in stone. Okay, and that was the perfect amount because that's all I had left, and it's all done. And here is the final product in the kitchen. I loved doing this. This was so fun. I think it turned out really cute and really beautiful. I wanted to kind of challenge my, perfectionism, which I think I successfully did. It's like the right amount of like kitschy almost, but it's super cute and very, very kid friendly, I feel like. Here's my daughter using it, and it just fits perfectly. I love it. Very happy with how this turned out. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far especially, I am very appreciative of you. If you feel so inclined, comment, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. But if you have questions about my process or how I created this, or if there's other crafty or DIY things you want to see from me, let me know. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.